In the name of Allah, the most compassionate and most merciful, let me thank first Almighty Allah for being healthy and fine. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I wish that everyone is having a pleasant moment of your life. So let me thank you once again being here with me. So today I will be delivering lecture number 17 regarding the subject of sociology. In the previous topics we discussed about political system and political parties. We talked about that there are two major political philosophy that exist all over the world, that is democracy or totalitarianisms, while there may exist some other political system in the world as well, like for example socialism, communism, dictatorships and democracy. And today we're discussing about a system that is called dictatorships. Let me remind you, dear students, if you're having any queries, any critics, any questions, let me know through this WhatsApp number. Share your views for the improvement of lecture, as well as if you have got any questions, so let me know that I could answer the questions on the spot or later on. Be in touch with me. May God all protect and save you from all mischievous and disaster of the words. معاصرین اقران قدر خوشحال باشین، خوش باشین، صحتمند باشین و آرزوی صحتمندی داریم برای شما داریم. امروز ما در مورد مضمون جامعه شناسی لکچر 17 را در مورد احزاب سیاسی یا سیستم های سیاسی گپ میزنیم. طوری که ما گفتیم که ما چی را نظام سیاسی را مطالعه کنیم. در پانزه اقتصاد گفتیم که جامعه شناسی مضمون یگانه ای هستند که برش میگه مادر علوم اجتماعی همه علوم اجتماعی دیگر، یعنی مادر علوم اجتماعی دیگر هستند. اگر ما اقتصاد را بگیم خودش هم یک علوم اجتماعی هستند، لیکن اقتصاد کی هستند؟ جامعه را از لحاظ اقتصادی مطالعه میکند. اگر سیاست را بگوییم صرف جامعه را از لحاظ سیاسی مطالعه میکند، ولی جامعه شناسی مضمونی هستند که جامعه را از هر پالوی زندگی مطالعه میکنه. هر مشکلی که در جامعه موجود هستند و او موانع بر رشد اقتصادی و سیاسی و رفاه و کامیابی و رشد یک دولت و یک قوم می باشد، یک جامعه می شود، او را مطالعه میکنه و برای او راه حل پیدا میکنه. So that's why sociology is called the mother of all social sciences. It do study all problems which exist in human society, whether that is political, whether that is economic, social or cultures. It do all study these problems, investigate over these problems, and finally makes the policy and suggestion, and finding the suggestion and finding the recommendation that how to finish this problem from the society. So sociology, as I told you, mother of all social sciences, it does not only study a particular aspect of this human problem, but it do study all aspects of human life, whether that is a person might be facing some political problem, some social problem, cultural problem, educational problem, health problems, religious problems. These problems might be existing in human society. Now, finding solution for all these problems is the job and responsibility of the sociologists and of these subjects to make a solution for all these existing problems in the society. Let me remind you, the subject is a foreign country subjects, but we do get the help from the foreign policy, from the foreign idea and concept in order to put them in our own framework in Afghani society to finish the problem. گفته می‌دانیم که یک مضمون خارجی هستند، نظریاتش کلگی از خارج هستند، ولی ما می‌دانیم که همه نظریات خارجی در چوکات افغانی به خاطر حل فصل و حل رفع کردن مشکلات در جامعه افغانی ما از استفاده می‌کنیم. So we are talking about the from the political system. One of the system that is called dictatorships. یعنی نظام سیاسی هستند که در دست یک نفر باشد، هر چیزی که وقتی حاکم خود گفتن او نظریات خود، قوانین خود، مثلا خواهشات خود سر مردم به زور قبول میکند، اون نظام را ما به نام دیکتاتورشیپس یعنی دیکتاتوری، نظام ظلم یاد میشه. یک نظام هستند. So it's a form of government that has absolute power over a country or a state. یک مطلق قدرت بالای مردم و دولت داشته باشد در این نظام. Dictatorship is practiced by one absolute ruler called dictator. توسط یک فرد حکمرانی صورت میگیرد، حکومت صورت میگیرد که او را ما دیکتاتور میگیم. Dictator was also called tyrants by the ancient Romans. در گذشته توسط رومانز به نام tyrant دیکتاتور هم یاد میشد. Although we hear less about dictatorship in these days, dictators do exist. با وجودی که ما امروز بسیار کم میشناسیم که نام ببریم بعضی مملکت‌هایی که نظام دیکتاتوری داشته باشد، کم هستند ولی موجود هستند. یعنی نظام عموما در دنیا امروز که ما داریم اون نظام دموکراسی هستند. So there are many dictators who are practicing dictatorships over many countries. Some of the example of modern dictators, for example, Al-Zarqawi in Iraq, who was the only ruler and dictator who ruled the Iraqi peoples, and just what the Zarqawi wanted, he did it in that country without the will of the peoples. Suharto is an Indonesian dictator who did rule in their countries. What he wanted, he did that one. He didn't see and ask about anything from the publics and peoples. So there was no sheer powering, there was no equal distribution of resources. It means whatever the Suharto wanted, that could be implemented, even if that is against the public wills and public opinions. So in a country, the rate of growth and developing economic growth happens when there is a system where there is a proper system of management of economic management is taking place. So properly goods and services are being produced, and this economic growth and economic production of goods and service which is produced by economic institutions in a nation is directly affecting the many variables other than political system and civil liberty as well. So in a system where there is a dictator system, might be that that country is facing with a lots of problem because it is ruled by one person. There is no suggestions and there is no suggestion and idea from other people for the improvement of country. So such country would not go ahead if there is dictatorship. Well, that system may do not exist in a famous form around the world, but it do exist around the world. So هر اداره سیاسی یک مشخصات خاصی را داشته باشند که او را ما characteristic of political institution میگیم. bureaucracy در هر نظام سیاسی یا دولت، در یک دولت اول مشخصه ثانی هستند که دولت دارای بروکراسی می باشد. یعنی بروکراسی با این هستند که در این نوع نظام بروکراسی ما اهمیت به دفتر میدیم، نه به فرد. یعنی فرد مهم نیست، دفتر مهم هستند. So the دفتر کاغذ پرانی است مثال. So is one of the characteristics in which office is more important than individuals. دفتر مهم هستند. Office is more individual than individuals. So in a political system, in my opinion, where there is a bureaucracy, it may not proceed, it may not develop because of the bureaucratic systems, because humans are not, individuals are not important, because office is important. There will be only working just for the one portion, one section of a country. Social order. هر نظام سیاسی که در یک جای باشد، یک دولت باشد، اداره سیاسی باشد، او را یک نظم اجتماعی در وجود هستند. توسط این نظم اجتماعی چون قوانین در وجود می باشد، قوانینی که توسط بالای مردم تطبیق می شود، امی قوانین که از فعالیت‌های انسان‌ها را محدود می سازد، بالاخره در جامعه پیشرفت و رفاه و کامیابی و یک زندگی محفوظ به انسان‌ها فراهم می سازد. جایی که سوشال کنترل باشه. اگر سوشال کنترل نباشه، گراف جرم بلند میره، مجرمین هم زیاد میشه و خوشی و کامیابی و پیشرفت او جامعه هیچ امکانی ندارد که باشد. So social order. So all political institutions is a complex of social norms and mores that serves to maintain social orders, to exercise their power and authority, to compel conformity in existing the political system. So all the political systems that exist in a country, there should be a social order. Where there is no social order, so there exists so many problems, and economically that country wouldn't go ahead. It would not take any positive steps for their people. Where there is a social orders, the human conduct, human activities are limited, and all economic affairs are being closely monitored. There is no corruption, there is no capitalism, there is no such other systems, but equally the peoples are being having access to all sort of facilities because of the social order. As well as all the countries which is running a system in a country is having a political parties, and mainly these political parties for closely monitoring the activity of the political systems. It do exist to have a critics over the existing political systems for the reforms and reformation of political systems. If anything going wrong in a country, the political party do exist in a country just to monitor the government activity which is against the publics and will of the peoples, which is against the prosperity of a nation. So the political parties are standing firmly over that in order to control the mis and wrongdoing of the countries. So the political parties are one of the essential structural characteristics of modern political institutions. The نظام سیاسی معاصر یک از خصوصیاتی در نظام سیاسی که هستند دارای یک ساختار خاصی به نام political party یا حزب سیاسی می باشد. A political party is an organization of peoples. یک مجموعه تنظیم کننده منظم مجموعه افرادی هستند interested in and working to control or influence the power structure of a country or community or a society. که فعالیت‌های خود را به طوری انجام می‌دهد که امو قدرت و صلاحیت به شکل در جامعه تطبیق دیستریبیوت توزیع شود که از نمو قدرت و صلاحیت مردم به شکل درستکار انجام بده و با اساس این در جامعه و در یک مملکت پیشرفت بیاید. So welfare of the people همه نظام سیاسی که در یک مملکت یا ادارات سیاسی که به میان میآید دی موجودیتشان هستند که به خاطر رفاه و کامیابی و خوشی و مسئولیت و مسئولیت مردم کار بکند. So government is not a business organization. دولت کدام اداره تجارتی نیست، بلکه دولت یک اداره رفاه و خیرخواهی است برای مردم. It means that the political institution is not business oriented, but it is welfare oriented. یعنی دیدگاه دولت خیرخواهی می باشد نه تجارتی. The government departments are not for profit motives. همه ادارات دولتی به خاطر هدف فایده نیست که فایده بکند، but these are basically for the welfare of the individual. لیکن همه اداراتی که موجود ایجاد می شود به خاطر رفاه و کامیابی فرد در جامعه می باشد. So the governments are responsible and they are one of the characteristics of the government should be like that, and they should, that it should play like welfare oriented organizations. So there are some major function of the political institutions. بعضی از وظایف خاصی ما داریم در اینجا که ادارات سیاسی او را انجام میده. The first is regulate the relationships. اگر ما بخوایم که یک نظام سیاسی بخواه، یک دولت بخواه روابطش امرای مردم باشد و یک روابط بسیار مضبوط داشته باشد، به خاطری که بدون دولت بدون از مردم نمیشه و مردم بدون از دولت زنده پیشرفت کردن نمیتونه. به این خاطر یک دیگه ملزوم است ما میگیم که در میان این دو باید یک رابطه خاص باید وجود داشته باشد، یعنی در میان دولت و مردم فاصله ایجاد نشود. اگر فاصله ایجاد شد مشکلات زیاد ایجاد می شود. به این خاطر وظیفه دولتی هستند که مردم با یکدیگر نزدیک بسازد تا که همه به یک هدف خاص به یک طرف خاص سوق و راهنمایی شود تا که دولت پیشرفت کند، به طرف پیشرفت گامزن شود. So to regulate the relationship, so due to the rules and regulations there is interdependence and interrelationship among the peoples. Law governs our behaviors and the legal machinery of political institution control us. So we do having interdependent with each other's. Publics are interdependent with the government. Government is depending on the publics. So there should be an interrelationship among these two categories. So the prosperity which is taking place in the nations, it's because of the machinery of political institution which is controlling their publics and having a relationship with them. Those people, those political system where there is having no control over their public and there is no relationships. So what exists there? A social distance take place among the people in government. Finally, the gaps comes, and this gaps is an opportunity for the publics, which becomes against the governments. So then they play another rules which is against the government. So another function of the political institution वज़ीफ़े दिगई दौलत यस वज़ीफ़े असली व असासी शिनमी यस की बखातरी रिफ़ा व खुशी व हिफाजत जान व माल ज़िंदगी मर्दूम را بکند یک असली वज़ीफ़े मर्दूम दौलत هستند که ما welfare works بگیم که بخاطر کارهای خیریه دولت باید کار خود انجام بده. So it should work for the welfares of the peoples. And during the hardship, during the difficult time, during the war, during some other disaster, the government should give a hand to the publics, should support them, because this is the function of a government. The state is to provide the facility of the educations, health, transportations, communications, care of the handicapped. Political institution aims to function for the provision of welfare works. So all the governmental sectors or all the political institution that exist in a particular geographical area is having a strong relation with the people. For these people, the government is responsible to provide a free education for all without any discrimination, as well as a free health care system for all without any discrimination, that all people do have an equal health access to the peoples, as well as transportations. The peoples are providing the transport system for the publics that smoothly they run their business without any problems, as well as the communication system becomes so much strong. It all comes in the function of the political system. So mainly we talk about that those people who are disabled, those people who are handicapped, they lost their parts of their body, so they are properly closely monitored and they're properly been given a chance to work in the government sectors and provide them the basic facility of their life, and full care is given to these handicapped and disabled people is one of the function of the political institutions. So all these political institution is working for one main purpose and for one main functions, that is just to provide the provision for the people welfare, to do welfare works, not any other activities. نظام سیاسی دولت صرف به خاطر یک هدف ایجاد می شود که کارهای رفاه و کامیابی به مردم انجام بدن. So election is another main function of the political system. They do elect their the people do elect their president, or they do elect their other parliamentarians by proper establishing a proper system of election where there is voting of cost, and many people do have the knowledge about the voting system in parliament and government. So the responsibility of government to provide the facility and to provide a mechanism where there is equal opportunity for the people to elect themselves as a representative of their country. So function of government is election of the peoples, for the elections. Legislation, دولت قوانین جور میکند، قوانین را تصویب میکند، قوانین را تایید میکند، بالاخره قوانین سر مردم تطبیق میکند. بعضی نمی قوانین که از فعالیت‌های انسانی در جامعه محدود میسازد، کسایی که متخلفین است او را مجازات میکند. این وظیفه دولت هستند. So the political institutions are making the legislations. So these legislations are made. Once these legislation are made, after that it goes to the parliament. The parliament makes these legislations, and parliament approves this legislation. it is endorsed by the government, and finally this endorsement of the legislations then is implemented over the people to conduct the human activity, to limit them, and that these people do not cross their limit. The violator should be finally punished and penalized. After that, implementation of law over whether that is irrespective of implementation of law equally on the public, irrespective of the minority and majority, rich and poor, upper class, elite class, or lower class, whatever it is. So law is implemented equally among the people. So where there is a implementation of law equally among the peoples, so that country is smoothly and gradually going forward, and it becomes a developed countries. Country where there is discrimination on implementation of law, it will never develops. It will create a lot of problems, as well as international relationship. So government functions are what to make international relationship. Maybe that is for economic affairs, for cultures and social affairs and political affairs. They do make relation with international and outside of the world. That the people goes outside and comes inside. Export and import take place, employee exchange program take place, and educational exchange program take place. So these relationships are made, and these are the functions of the government to make a better platform that how to exchange the many kinds of program with the rest of the world. Through this they develop the nations. So the function of government is to make international relations with the world and globe and neighboring countries, as well as evaluation of other institutions. دولت وظیفه‌اش نمی است که ارزیابی کند دیگر ادارات های که زیر دست دولت هستند ارزیابی بکند که آیا فعالیت به شکل درست میکند یا نه. وظیفه دولت این هستند مثلا وزارتخانه را، مثلا ریاست های دیگر، مثلا ادارات شخصی و غیر شخصی را. These are all controlled by the governments, whether they are properly functioning or not. So this is the function of the political institutions, where there is a evaluation of other institutions in a countries, and other institutions are properly monitored, and they are closely monitored from a very close angles, and the violators are being punished, and those who have done the great work, they have been rewarded. If this system exists in a country, definitely that system will go toward the prosperity and development. If it does not take place, so definitely the countries and worlds will go back to the 21st centuries. So protection against dangers. در حالی که دولت، مردم، افراد در یک مملکت، در یک جامعه امرای خطرات خارجی مواجه میشد، دولت مکلف هستند که مال و جان در حفاظت باشد. این وظیفه دولت هستند. So government, in case of any foreign as well as any internal aggressions, the state is to provide safety to the individual. The property, the life and honor of the people are to be saved by the governments. عزت و زندگی و جایداد و مردم باید در حفاظت باشد. این وظیفه دولت هستند که این وظیفه خود را به شکل درست انجام بده. در حالتی که اگر دولت امرای کشمکش و اختلافات داخلی باشه یا خارجی باشه، در این دو حالت باید دولت جان و حفظ مال و عزت انسان را نگاه بکند. So social control, as we earlier discussed about, یک نظم اجتماعی ضرورت است. توسط نظم اجتماعی ما جامعه را به سمت درست ساخت میکنیم. اگر نظم اجتماعی نباشد، قوانین مراعات نشود، اصول مراعات نشود، طبعا در اوج نظم اجتماعی نمی باشد، لیکن در اوج بی‌نظمی اجتماعی می باشد که مجرمین میان، متخلفین میان، جامعه به طرف بربادی میرن، نه به طرف خوشبختی. So the social control is another function of the political institution, to bring control over the individual through the law, just to punish the violator by the states. Beside all these, provision of recreations. دولت مکلف هستند که به خاطر رفاه و به خاطر سکون و به خاطر صحت روانی مردم باید بعضی پروگرام ها در بیاندازه تا که مردم از اون لذت ببره، این کارهای تفریحی به مردم انجام بده. This is also one of the assets because people are the assets of a government. So government should provide some recreational facility for their people. In most of the cases, The government organizes recreational activities. For instance, the government arranges odd councils in major games like football, hockey, and cricket that the people go watch and enjoy, and they go outside and come. The people come from outside to inside, and there is a recreational facility for the people. This is also the jobs of the political institutions and functions. During the conflicts, the government is taking the decision. در حالاتی که دوجه مخالفت ها باشد در دوران مخالفت امو تصمیم خود را میگیرد. Court, jails and other means are provided by the state to decide the conflicting situation. So this is the responsibility of political institution to make law, and these laws are decided to decide the conflicts. So this is another function of the political institutions. Collect the revenues. The government collects revenue through taxation to meet its requirement and run its administration machinery efficiently. Rest of the money is spent on public welfares and the betterment of all the citizens. Government is responsible to collect the taxes, and finally these taxes are being used back over the administrative affairs of the country, as well as to do some extraordinary things for the welfare of the peoples. دولت جمعواری ریوینیو عایدات میکند، مالیات میگیرد و این مالیات پس با کارهای بازسازی و به خاطر مصارف دولت از او پس استفاده میشه که یک از وظیفه دولت هستند. Control over the resources. مکلفیت و وظیفه دولت اینمی هم هستند که بالای منابع خود کنترل داشته باشد در هر حالتی که باشد، حالت جنگ باشد، حالت مصیبت باشد، هر حالتی که باشد. This is the responsibility and function of a government to control over the resources. In one way or the other, the government controls the resources of the state. During war or under such other abnormal circumstances, government controls all the resources of the country, and other social institutions become subordinate to it. So political institutions are directly or indirectly controlled, so all the rescue of the states. So that is why it's major function of the political institution to control all the resources. If it is not controlled, so the country will go towards the destruction, not constructions. Maintain peace and security. This is another major function of the political institution, to maintain peace and security. Like for example in Afghanistan, the government sector is working to bring justice and peace in the country. Their efforts and their all budgets are being spent over the defense systems and military system that to bring peace and order, because once there is peace and order, there is every kinds of prosperities and development will take place. Control the social problem. All social problems which exist in the society, the government is responsible to functions very well and do perform their activity in order to control the social problem that is existing in the countries. And as well as the major function of government is to make effective social, economic and political policy for the development and reforms of these reformation of all these sectors, that it will develop, so they make some measures effective policy for them. Another development function of government is to develop infrastructure of the country. بازسازی یک مملکت وظیفه یک دولت هستند، مثلا بندها جور کردن، مثلا سرک ها جور کردن، پارک و هسپتال و شفاخانه ها و مکاتب و پانتونا را جور کردن. This is the major function of the political institutions. Develop the economy of the country, provide job opportunities to the peoples, eradicate poverty from the countries, establish small and large scale industries and companies, and make the foreign policy for the neighboring countries and globes. Monitor all the internal and external activities are the major functions of the government, that they have to do all these. If a country function properly, all the mentioned function they do work on all these sectors, I'm sure there will be no conflicts, there will be no problem, there will be nothing in a country except there will be prosperity, there will be peace, there will be success, and there will be developments in every regards. But if these functions are not being monitored and they are not being properly implemented, the government does not work for all these functions which we mentioned here, that country will go toward the destructions and toward the disaster situations. This was today's lectures. Now, thank you once again, dear students. Let me have your suggestions and questions and queries through the WhatsApp number. Share with me. If you have got any question, let me know that I could help you in this regards. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Wish you all the best. Stay happy and blessed.